guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at my undisclosed location because guess what? We have Cadillac's smallest SUV that they have to offer. This is a 2020 XT4 Sport. But before we get into the XT4, let's talk a little bit about Cadillac history. Cadillac has been around, all started Detroit, Michigan, 1902. Over the years, so many wonderful models from Cadillac. One thing is for sure, over the years of recent time, things have changed when it comes to what's going on in the car industry. SUVs have taken over and are still top priority. This XT4 slots in as their smallest SUV offering, XT4, XT5, XT6, and then of course, the big full-size Escalade. What Cadillac is wanting to do is they're trying to take that recipe of all that luxury car ingredient success and pour it into a nice compact SUV for people who don't need such a large vehicle. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into this 2020 XT4. There have been a few changes, but the wonderful thing is this is a sport trim and I think you're gonna like some of the style on it. Right off the bat, you know it's a Cadillac, and the way that you do is from this very unique headlight design. It started a few years ago. They did something with their headlight design and taillight design that just totally separated them from everybody else. Full LED. I love the way it's all one housing. So this top portion turns into a waterfall section. You have your LED daytime running lamp that runs its way up and across. You then kind of take your eyes and go down, and you're gonna have, unfortunately, and I am gonna zonk it, a fake vent. I wish that this was a functional side air curtain. It looks great, it's gloss black, but I just wish that it had airflow potential. Now, as we come across the front of the Sport, this grille is specific to this particular XT4. I like the gloss black look, wonderful design. You have that iconic Cadillac logo. Is it the same as from back in 1902? Not 100%, but you know what? You got to change with the times, and they definitely have brought it up to a 21st century standard. I like the brushed aluminum all the way around. You come down, you have flat black, which is great because this is going to take a good beating. And then you have a nice little gloss black lower lip. Now, lurking behind this open area down here is going to be an intercooler, because guess what? You actually have a turbocharged intercooled engine underneath this hood. But from one side to the other, I really like how wide it is and the way that it just screams Cadillac. Now, when we get up onto the hood, very, very aggressive raised center section. You have a peak that starts at the front fascia, goes up into the hood, and then prominent lines that almost give it a cowl-inducted raised hood look to it. Super aggressive on this XT4. Now, when we come around the bend, they decided to take the flat black, bring it around the fender treatment, and then feast your eyes on these beautiful wheels. So this is a 20-inch wheel. I like the silver, the machined aluminum finish to it. Multi-spoke really works well with the silver, the sparkling silver on this XT4. And I think with a 20-inch wheel, it's a great size for it. Now, as we go into the fender, you have a second Cadillac emblem. I wish they would actually put the color into it. I think it would help, you know, make it pop and be a little bit more cohesive from the front emblem and the emblem on the rear. Now, you do have color matched mirrors, nice clean look. And then when you get up on top of the roof, you are gonna have nice low gloss black roof rails, gloss black along the bottom and top of the window frames. And then I think it's super smart. Down here, they went flat black with a little bit of gloss, just a little bit to kind of give it that cohesive look. And I think I'm telling you, it's crazy because I've seen this XT4 other colors. I love the silver. It works great. Nice prominent belt line comes into the rear fender. You can see how that extension of the gloss black comes to a nice point. And then when we get to the tail end of the business, this is what I was telling you about when it comes to taillight design. This screams Cadillac all day long, full LED. Love the waterfall effect and how it turns into the rear hatch area. You have your Cadillac badge. I'm gonna zonk this. I want them to get rid of this extra numbering system. I think if you just call this an XT4, and since it's a sport, put a sport badge, I think that would make a lot more sense and stop confusing people. We come down, you're gonna have actual functional exhaust. So that is a big thumbs up. Simple rear bumper area with a little gloss black, but very, very clean, just like the front of the vehicle. Why don't we go ahead though, pop the hood and see what's powering this XT4. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on the XT4. What I love the engine cover. It says turbo, very prominent, with another Cadillac badge, and you have a hydraulic hood strut. What you're looking at underneath that tasteful engine cover is a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 237 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated through a 9-speed automatic transmission. MPGs, 22 in the city, 29 on the highway, 0 to 60 in about 7.8 seconds. For 2020 models, you're gonna have emergency braking, the whole safety alert system, the active sport suspension with adaptive dampeners. There's different modes that you can switch through with this XT4 Sport that I'll show you in a few seconds. But definitely underneath the hood, not too shabby. Why don't we go ahead, check out the interior and see what type of Cadillac luxury is brought into this XT4. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Cadillac XT4 Sport. I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, this thing's looking nice on the outside. It's a good size, not too big, not too small, kind of just right. How much is it? MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is around $44,961. Let's see what you get for the money. I'm loving what's going on with the door panel. You have beautiful stitch work that's contrast stitching, the soft material at the top of the door panel, the back of the door panel. And you know what? The carbon fiber design works in here. It just looks really classy and sporty at the same time. You have a large pocket down there for a bottle of water or for some Twinkies while you're driving down the road. Now, dash, nice and low. There's that continuation of the stitch work. I like the carbon fiber. I'm gonna go ahead and push the start stop button. And there we are, welcome to our Cadillac logo. I'm gonna hit okay. This is an 8-inch infotainment system. You would think that tilted forward, there'd be a ton of glare. Not too bad. My only thing is I wish they kind of didn't have this portion extend out so far and then maybe just push it back and kind of tilt it up just a little bit. Not that it's sticking out, but just enough to where it's a little bit more upright. You do have your home button, really easy to use. Navigation like you saw, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. What I love is how well this swipes. I mean, the swipe features in this are really, really great. I'm gonna go back to home, swipe back because I wanna show you can get your climate control here. Dual climate, real easy to use, real easy to figure out. You got your start stop button conveniently placed. Very slim and trim. I like this aluminum finish on the switch gear. To lower the fan speed, you push down. To speed it up, you lift up. Makes sense, easy to use. This is for that lane keep assist and your other safety features that you could turn on and off very easily. The zonk is there's no heated seat. So neither passenger is getting a heated neither passenger or the driver is getting a heated seat. I do like the way that they did this material on the top portion. You do have a side pocket here for some Slim Jims, which is great. Open this up. What do we have? We got a 12-volt, a USB, and a USB-C, and some nice felt lining. So you know that class ring that your boyfriend gave you when you were in school? You could actually put in here and it's not gonna get scratched. We push that, it closes up nice and soft. You have 2 cup holders. Here is your Cadillac key fob, good size. It's got a nice weight to it. I like the silver. There's your trim on the back, all the buttons and whatnot. You have your different drive modes. You can start, shut off that start-stop feature, the automatic start-stop feature, and shut off your traction control. This is gonna be controlling your 9-speed automatic transmission. Then you're gonna have a nice direct drive controller. So if you don't wanna touch the screen, you could actually access by using the buttons and then turning the knob, which is really nice. Select, you just push down. Real easy to use. I love that feature. You can see the simulated stitching going all the way back. You have a nice little cubby, which you can option this area with wireless charging, which I would recommend. Other than that, there's no wireless charging at this price point. Armrest is like a medium grade on the softness, but it's nice and long, beautiful stitch work. You open it up, you got a tray for your M&Ms, and then more felt lining where you could actually put your Twinkies in there and they're not gonna get scratched. And you have a 12-volt, so you could actually get like a little heater and keep them warm. Close that up, seats. They're great looking. You can see the little crest bar here. I like the contrast stitching. Very, very soft, very, very supportive. Power for both passenger and the driver. The one thing I'm missing that I wish was at this price point, it can be optioned in, is some type of sunroof, whether a standard sunroof, panoramic sunroof. You do have a very tasteful frameless auto dimming mirror, which is great. And I do also like the way they integrated the AC vents in the center. But why don't you come on over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this XT4 Sport. All right, guys, business time. You do have 2 memory settings, which is wonderful. That's a nice feature to have for the driver's side. You're welcome to a nice little sill down here on the bottom. I do like the seat controls, and what's cool about the seat controls is that when you use them, it actually shows up on the screen what you're adjusting, which is really wonderful. On that 8-inch screen, you could adjust the side bolstering, everything. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom in here. Steering wheel, awesome thickness. It almost feels like it's out of a Cadillac race car, like a CTSV race car. Horn button is tasteful. You got that iconic badge. You do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel. They are plastic, but they're there to go up and down the 9-speed. You can see how they brought the leather all the way from one side to the other, even the carbon fiber material. And then the dash, it's clean, clear, and concise. Analog tach, analog speedometer. In the center there, you have an information display that you could toggle through. A ton of information, which is really wonderful. Nice, clean, clear graphics. And overall, with the ability to tilt and telescope the steering wheel, it really does make sense. Now, one thing that this does have is the emergency alert. At the top of the dash is a cutout area. It's not a head-up display. What it does is that in an emergency braking situation, it flashes red LEDs on the windscreen and also vibrates the seat to help keep you safe. Same thing when backing up and whatnot. It's just an extra way to alert you to anything that's going down. But speaking of going down, let's go ahead and check out the back seat and see how your passengers are going to love this XT4. All right, guys, back seat time. The great news is there's plenty of room, especially headroom. Plenty of headroom in here. I just wish there was some type of sunroof because it is a little dark in here because of the darker materials. You do have plastic on the back of the seat, which I am going to zonk at this price point, but you have pockets on both sides, which is a plus. 2 rear AC vents, a USB and a USB-C. So they have you connected there, which is really wonderful. Like I said, the seats feel great. Armrest time, perfect. And this is super soft. I wish this was up here as well, but you have 2 cup holders. We put it back. Other than that, feels really good. Let's check out the cargo space and see how much room you have in the Cadillac XT4. All right, guys, time to check out what type of junk can we put in the cargo area of the Cadillac XT4. Nice, you press the button, fast rising with electric assist. Great amount of room. Now, if you want a hard number, what you're basically looking at is 22.5 cubic feet of space. You fold down that back seat, you're gonna get 48.9 cubic feet of space. Bringing things from ground level into the back, it is up a little high, just something to be aware. There is a little cubby area where you could sneak that box of Twinkies over there. And one thing I do have to alert you, there is no spare that comes standard on here. They give you basically a flat fix kit and a air compressor to get that flat somewhere so you could get to where you're going, hopefully to get it repaired properly. But we close that back up, you hit that, closes very nicely. Why don't we get to the best part? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Cadillac for a spin. Guys, we left the undisclosed location. We're in the Cadillac XT4 Sport. 2 things that I love right off the bat is I love the steering wheel, great size, love the seats. You have the ability to really get it to fit the form of your body to a T, and they're ultra comfortable. Looking out across the dash, I really like being able to see the top of the hood. That center raised section looks really nice from this vantage point. The stitch work is great. Soft material really everywhere that you're looking and touching. Inside, for the most part, very quiet ride. The 9-speed, it's a little bit jerky when it comes to the shifts, especially like, for example, we're driving, I'll get on the loud pedal. It drops down nicely, but what's interesting is that when you're in traffic situations, if you just tap the throttle, depending on the different situation that you're in, it kind of bounces between gears a little too much. But really at highway speed and quick acceleration, this thing gets up and goes very quickly. Now you do have the 3 different drive mode options: Tour, Sport, Snow, and Ice. This one's front wheel drive. You can get optional all-wheel drive. What's interesting is that the Q system, I'm actually digging the way it works in this XT4. And what's incredible is there's like no glare on the screen, which is interesting because it's actually tilted towards the windshield instead of away from the windshield. But pulling away from this light, it is very smooth. The engine can get a little buzzy though when you're at higher speeds because it is a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. Visibility out the back, surprisingly, is great. I thought that smaller rear window was gonna be kind of hard to see out of. It actually is quite good. Mirrors are a great size without being obnoxious in size. You have your blind spot monitoring in there. And then of course your lane keep assist and all the other safety features that are gonna make sure that you arrive safely to your destination. All right guys, quick acceleration test. I have it in sport mode on throttle, drops down. From an acceleration standpoint, I think they got you covered. I don't see any reason why somebody's gonna want something, at least in this size of vehicle, to be really that much faster at this price point. Gauges, you know, the analog aspect of it makes it very, very simple to see. I do like the way they kind of blend the analog aspect with the digital, and you have a top section there that gives you quite a bit of information. It tells you what the speed limit is, your actual speed in miles per hour digital readout, plus the safety features that you have turned on or turned off, which is great as well. But as you can see, driving it really is very easy to navigate through traffic, super easy. The size I think is perfect, especially if you want a Cadillac SUV but you live in the city. This is going to help you navigate some of those tighter streets, parallel parking situations, parking garages a lot easier than say an XT6 or of course the Escalade. But very, very smooth. Back on throttle. Even the steering, there's a really, really nice feel that you get from the steering and great feedback on top of that. So it's got a good weight to it. Brakes, that's another thing that I've been impressed with. I like how high the pedal is. And when you get on the brake pedal, it doesn't sink much. It really provides great feedback to help you stop, especially in an emergency style situation. Sometimes when I'm sitting here, like for example at a light, I do feel like the space is kind of a little tight, but I think that helps with the overall sportiness of this XT4, especially since it is an XT4 Sport. But everything's easy to get to. That's one of my favorite things about this, and I feel super, super comfortable. All right, guys, making a U-turn very easy in the Cadillac XT4, back on throttle. So the shifts are very smooth. When you're full throttle, the shifts are very, very smooth through the 9-speed. In sport mode, you can see how it hangs on to that gear as you're slowing down to give you a little quicker acceleration if you were to get back on throttle. But overall, I'm actually getting more and more impressed the more I drive this XT4 Sport. But hopefully this gave you a great overview of what this vehicle is about. We're gonna get back to our undisclosed location, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful time with this Cadillac XT4. I think that really Cadillac has done a great job making a vehicle that is on the smaller end of things when it comes to SUVs to get people into the brand, and then they can work their way up as their family grows, or people who have larger vehicles that maybe want to downsize. Maybe their kids have left and they're having empty nest syndrome and they want to treat themselves to a new car. This SUV XT4 from Cadillac kind of fits that mold. But I definitely want to thank everybody at Cadillac for allowing me access to this wonderful press fleet vehicle. If you want to keep seeing vehicles like this on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He's here with me at the undisclosed location. After this, he's going to go lift some weights. So thank you, Tom, for your hard work. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.